What a mess in spring. Wake up, shouted What a Mess's mother for the 9th time. Oom-oom-a-wook, came the muffled and plaintive reply. Muffled because the puppy had gone to sleep with his head buried under his blanket and his bottom sticking up in the air. You're not awake, said his mother, getting rather cross. Awoom! The tall and beautiful Afghan hound looked in despair at the muddle which was sleeping quarters of her son, Prince Amir of Kinjan. Surrounding the puppy in his basket was a half-eaten cardboard box marked Frosty Bran Sunshine Flakes, the wrapper from a lump of cooking fat, a tipped-up marmalade jar, rather a lot of shiny marmalade, and a football boot. It also looked as if there had been a heavy fall of beige snow during the night, but a closer look showed her that it was only loose, Frosty Bran Sunshine Flakes. No wonder you're called What a Mess. Just look at the rubbish you've got in your basket. It's a midnight snack, explained What a Mess, emerging reluctantly from beneath his blanket. In case I fainted with hunger during the night. You can, you know. The cat next door told me. She said the worst thing is that you don't know you fainted because you're asleep. So, the best thing is to stay awake all night and keep eating. That's why I'm still tired. I've never heard such nonsense, said his mother. Didn't you realize the cat was pulling your leg? Oh, you are trusting. I'll never ever believe a word that cat tells me ever again, said the puppy fiercely. Not if I live to be 129. I think I had better take a little nap now and get my strength back for... Oh, no, you don't, cried his mother, twitching his blanket off him. Out in the garden with you. Don't you know what today is? Spring has arrived. I didn't hear the doorbell, said the puppy. Perhaps I really did do a faint and the bell went while I was... Spring doesn't come through the door, silly. It's a season of the year. There's spring, then summer, then autumn, then dreary old winter when nature goes to sleep. What exactly does spring do? Asked the puppy cautiously. Today, the whole nature begins to stir again. The grass grows, flowers shoot up, trees throw out buds and burst into blossom. What a Mess decided that spring was worth taking a look at. He galloped out into the garden and flopped down by a tuft of grass to watch it grow. Nothing seemed to happen, so he transferred his attention to a clump of daffodils. He wore a saucepan lid as a helmet in case the flowers shot up into the sky and fell down on his head. But although he waited for quite a long time, the daffodils stayed where they were. They waved a bit in the breeze, but otherwise did little worth noting. Feeling a bit disappointed with spring, he loped across to the apple tree so that he could see it throw its buds about and burst, as his mother told him it would. While he was waiting, hiding round a corner of the shed in case the tree became too violent, the cat next door appeared beside him. Today it's spring, announced the cat, licking a paw and polishing behind her ear. I'm off bird watching in the wood. I'll come with you, said the puppy, who suddenly had a nasty feeling that the whole garden might erupt into action at any moment and do him an injury. Oh, you can't, said the cat. You have to be a cat. Dogs are too big and clumsy to go bird watching. Ho, ho, chortled the puppy to himself. She's telling me fibs again. Nobody makes a fool of Prince Amir of Kinjan twice and lives to tell the tale. Aloud he said, Anything a cat can do, I can do. I'm coming with you. The cat led the way to the quickthorn hedge at the back of the garden and leaped lightly through a hole near the top. What a Mess stuck halfway through. Thorns tangled themselves in his coat, but by wriggling and twisting, he finally broke through. The little wood was on the other side of the hedge and was thick with saplings, most of them only wide apart enough for a cat to pass between. 4 times, What a Mess got stuck and had to be levered free by the cat with the aid of a broken branch. The ground was thickly covered in scrub and bushes. The cat sneaked under them, but What a Mess had to proceed in huge leaps, like an enormous scruffy lamb, and when the cat crept through the bushes by pushing branches aside, they snapped back and hit What a Mess on the nose. Suddenly, "Whee!" cried the cat. She leaped high onto the bark of a tall tree, and 2 seconds later was 15 meters up it, sitting on the topmost branch. What a Mess did his best. After trying a running jump, which failed because it was high enough, but he missed the tree, he managed to scramble onto a low branch and then wedge himself in a fork a good meter above the ground. Then "Whee!" cried the cat from high above. What a Mess watched miserably as the cat ran down the tree head first and leaped lightly to the ground. The puppy gritted his teeth, closed his eyes, and began to descend head first. What a Mess's mother looked at her puppy as he lay in his basket, his coat a mass of quickthorn twigs, his ribs aching, his legs sore, trying to lick the bruises on his nose. The bump on his head was covered with a large plaster. "Did you have a nice day?" she asked. "I showed that cat," said What a Mess. "She didn't make a fool of me this time." "And how are you enjoying spring?" "It's a bit disappointing. What I'm really looking forward to is tomorrow, summer." What a Mess's mother sighed. She was about to explain that spring lasted much longer than a day when she saw there was no point. What a Mess, having crunched up a toffee and a small piece of coal which he had found at the bottom of his basket, was deep in happy sleep.